Good afternoon, everyone. Maeve Fogarty is my name, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon's event. I'm the Healthcare Development Manager with Bunzl Cleaning and Safety Supplies, and I look after all the TENA range of products. Today on the call with me, I'm delighted to announce that I have two members of the S&T TENA team with me. We have our main presenter, who is Janice Matthews, who is the Accounts Contract Manager looking after all the TENA range of products and has a wealth of experience. I'm sure some of you might be familiar with Janice through calls over the years, or maybe have seen her already on previous webinars. And we also have Ian Daniels. Ian is the Account Sales Executive who works very closely with us in Bunzl here on the TENA range of products. So at this point, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you all. I appreciate you all have very, very busy schedules and really appreciate you taking the time out to join us this afternoon. This is our third event in a series of webinars, and today our topic is all about practical tips and product assessment. So how the event is going to run, to start with, we're going to show you a brief video, and the video really just encompasses what S&T and TENA is about. All about the research and development that is put into producing a premium market leader brand that TENA is. So that'll give you a good overview of what happens behind the scenes as such. Then I will head over to Janice, who will take you through a very informative presentation. And today it's very much going to mimic like a hands-on session, because it's all practical tips. So I think it's going to be a really useful session for everyone that's joined in today. So just in one moment now, we're going to go to the video. But just before that, I'd like to please just make sure that everybody's screens are on mute, and then we will begin. Thank you very much.
Economies around the world are facing the challenge of an aging population and the strain that puts on healthcare resources.
At TENA, we are committed to finding better ways to care for the elderly, not shying away or hiding aging. Elderly skin has been through so much over the years, a lifetime of experience traced onto the skin. And as the skin gets older, it gets thinner, more fragile and slower to heal. At TENA, we know that with incontinence, skin can be further compromised. Working with healthcare professionals and caregivers has shown us that incontinence care and skin care are inherently linked, and that taking care of skin health is one of the biggest challenges they face. That is why we are on a mission to provide better care for elderly skin, drawing on our 50 years of expertise and our pioneering innovations. Asking and listening has taught us that the most important principles in maintaining natural skin health are keeping the skin dry, clean and protected. So now TENA is introducing the Pro Skin range, designed to deliver these benefits and is accredited by the Skin Health Alliance. The Pro Skin range is offered in a simple 3-step skin health solution. Step 1. Our absorbent products offer triple protection for dryness, softness and leakage security. Step 2. Our pre-moistened wet wipes gently clean. And Step 3. Our creams provide extra protection. Every time you use our products, you're not just managing incontinence, you're actively helping to keep the skin healthy, providing comfort, helping to prevent pain, preserving their dignity, and making you feel proud that you're providing the best possible care. Put simply, better skin health is better for everyone. TENA Pro Skin.
Okay, so I'm just going to hand over to Janice, but before I do that, I'd like to invite you all, if you wish to pose any questions throughout the session, please don't hesitate. There's a little question bar in the middle of your screen if you want to drop in questions throughout the session. Alternatively, if you'd like to keep your question until after Janice's presentation, that's perfectly fine, whatever works best. But this is very much we want it to be as interactive as possible. Obviously, being all about kind of practical assessment and product and tips, it'll be I suppose good for everybody to be interactive if we can be. So I'll hand over to Janice now. Thank you very much, Janice.
Thank you, Maeve. So good afternoon, everybody. Please do let us know where you're listening in from. If you've listened before, if you found it useful, we'd really appreciate that. So for the next 20, 30 minutes, we just want to look at the products, the wee tips and the practical advice. And I only want to share with you what I've learnt over the last 10 years and some of the wee things that may help your patients. So we're going to keep this more just regarding products. All of the TENA products are deemed a Class 1 medical device. Therefore, they should have an assessment for use. So whether you're in a nursing home or in a hospital setting, there should be some reason, there should be some assessment for use. And that's where we come along as an added value service. We will provide you with training, whether it's like today, a webinar, maybe sometime in the future, face-to-face. And we also have a training academies as well, which we'll talk about a wee bit later, because we want you to use our products properly. And over the day, over the next few minutes, what I'm going to keep reiterating is a couple of, these are 3 things I found over the years that we don't get right, myself included, before I started this job. We need our patient in the correct product. Remember, we've at least 10 product lines. We need them in the correct size. I do the children's and the adults up here. So we've everything from extra small to 3XL, and then we want them in the correct absorbency. We've 5 different types of absorbency levels, from 400, 500 mils up to close to 2 litres. So this is a 3-fold assessment to look at how we manage our products better. If we get the products right, our patient's skin will be better, our patient's quality of life will be better, and at a level of cost effectiveness, we won't be wasting products and wasting unnecessary budget. So it depends where you're listening in from, and as I say, we're happy to support your individual units. The hospital setting is going to be different to a nursing home setting, so I'll probably refer a wee bit over the next few minutes with the different types of products. Just going to run through the products again because we have so many. The lighter Inco, which we always would start with anyway, the Comfort Mini or the TENA Men. The Comfort Mini is a product I believe that should be in every unit, in definitely every hospital ward, A&E, outpatients. This should be our first port of call. The other webinars we did before looked at the treatment options and etc. We're just looking at this stage now, you're choosing a product. So where someone needs a product, this is what we have access to. So your TENA Comfort comes in 3 different working absorbencies: 150 mils, 250 mils or 400 mils. And the products, which we haven't got them in front of you, if you want some samples of them, we can send them out for you to have a look at. The only difference is the absorbency, and they just probably about ½ an inch of length as we go up the different absorbencies. They have a wee bit of adhesive tape and it fits on to close fitting underwear. Also be mindful as well that the mini super that we're looking at 400 mils, once we go into our 60s, 70s, 80s, our urinary bladder really only has the capacity to hold about 400 mils. You and I right now, we can hold 400 to 600. So do consider the mini super, because that has the capacity to nearly hold a full bladder capacity there. So the minis, even at that level of light to sort of moderate incontinence, urinary incontinence, do hold an awful lot of hold a lot of fluid. So there's 3 of a choice, and so again we can advise you with those, which is better for your units. And it's a nice non-bulky product as well, because we're always again looking to encourage people to get out to the toilet or use some type of urinary device. The TENA Men, we've got 3 options. In fact, we've got 4. I didn't add the 4th one, but the TENA Men, as the wee small triangular product, comes in 3 different absorbencies as well. 150, 200 and 300. What I will say is the TENA Men 1, we had it for years up here and all the men complained it was too small. So we changed up to a level 2. So at a physical size, the level 2 and the level 3 are the same size. The only difference is the urinary absorbency. So the TENA 1 is a wee bit smaller. And over the years, some of the children's teams have come back to me and they use the TENA 1 maybe in the kiddies units, or else sometimes sometimes they'll turn it back to front and they'll use it for a wee bit of fecal staining if they have a wee toddler, rather than put them in a big product. Generally, the male product is more specifically for the males, but over the years, the children's team have come back and said that's been quite a good wee tip. If someone's a wee bit of soil in the children's unit or something minor, they would generally turn the TENA men backwards, and so it's another way of using it as well. But so you have 3 of a choice for the men there. So I would say the 2 would be more than enough for your average hospital ward, and probably even within your general nursing home type patient. Moderate to heavy incontinence, we've got the more larger type shapes. These are what we've probably routinely more seen throughout the years. The 2-piece system, the comfort, we're going to start with. So generally, that historically, you can go back 30 years when I started, there was some variant of this one on the ward. So this is where you have the pad with the net fixation. So the 2-piece system doesn't mean 2 pads, as some people have thought over the years. It's one product and a net fixation. We have 5 of a choice. So the main difference, the TENA Comfort Normal at the top is just slightly physically smaller, and the Plus, Extra, Super and Maxi are all the same physical size. All that changes is they have more super absorbent powder and therefore more capacity to hold urine. So if we're ever going into a hospital setting, we would probably be taking out the Super and Maxi and Extra, because at 800 mils, these are high absorbent products. We generally try and keep them for our home delivery patients, if they're waiting on carers coming in every 4 to 6 hours. Within a hospital setting, you've unlimited staff. Well, maybe not, but you've got staff that are available 24/7, not like somebody at home. So the TENA Comfort, as I say, up to 1300 mils. It's huge absorbency, so therefore it needs really good tight fixation. So the fixation that we would probably recommend for our home patients would be the TENA Fix Premium, going from extra small to 3XL. So important to get a measuring tape out just below the belly button and get a measurement in centimetres. Again, we've got all the different sizes. You can wash them at least 50 times. And we also have another range, the TENA Fix Basic, which is up to 25 washes. And we also have a TENA Acute, which is up to 10 washes. So speak to your Bunzel, speak to Maeve if it's something you want to consider. But if you are bringing into the wards the TENA Comfort 2-piece system, you would need to be mindful. Average working ward, unless it was general, unless it was a heavy ankle ward, maybe elderly care, stroke or something like that. But we'd need to be mindful. We need to bring in probably quite a few different sizes of nets as well. As I say, so there's 3 different types that you can choose from. So the pad and pants basically are suitable for most patients, mobile, immobile, suitable for most clinical environments, home, nursing home, hospital, and again you've got a high absorbency there. So with all of these products, they all come with a wetness indicator line, and that we'll talk about that a wee bit later on, and so that gives an indication of when to change. So these are easier to work with. So the nets can be re-washed if someone can do that within the ward, home or private home. And again, we need the nets really snug. So with the products, we'd always give it a wee fold in the middle, bend and fold, and then bring the nets up, the really good tight fitting nets right up into the groin area. And because as you can see, some of these products go up to 1300 grams. So 1 milliurine equals 1 gram. So if you ever need to weigh a product on a ward just to check an output, you would weigh the product and minus the dry weight of the product. So it gives us an idea how many mils are in it, just if you need it for accurate fluid balance charts. Say the TENA, that's the TENA Comfort. The TENA Slip is more of your all-in-one product. And when I think TENA slip, I'm thinking of the type of patient that is chair-bound, bed-bound, full nursing care. So we've a couple of different variants of this one at the moment. And as you can see, there's a TENA slip junior and a TENA slip extra small. These are more bridging products, which take us from our children's Libero into the TENA adult range. And we've also added in past few years the TENA slip active, which is a PE backing. So we've modified these products so much over the last 10 years. We've got a lot of choice to suit your clinical environment. So the TENA slip is all now Pro Skin. Pro Skin is that advanced feel dry layer. So as soon as the urine goes into the product, it's equally distributed along the product, pulled into the core layer, and the top advanced layer will keep it dry to the skin. So when we say it's promoting skin health, so the Pro Skin is just the new layer between the skin and the product. So with TENA slip, as you can see, down the left, we've got the sizing, and then across the top, we've got the absorbency. And if you're ever stuck and you don't know what it is, every product tells you what it is on the packaging and also on the product as well. So it's just getting, as I say, the right product. We don't need high absorbency products for people that we can toilet. These are patients that are bed-bound, chair-bound and full nursing care. That's where we would consider a maxi type product. There's no day pad and there's no night pad either. It's something I come across quite a bit, and people think it's the plus for day and the super for night, and historically that's what I was used to on the wards. To me, it's more of an individual assessment, and say within a care home setting, this is usually done really well actually, because it's an individual assessment. So within a hospital, we generally fine tune it to suit the general needs of your average type of client coming in. So the TENA slip Pro, we changed, the company looked at the most commonly used TENA slip products and modified it ever so slightly. So the medium and large in the plus and super is now TENA slip Pro. Talk about confusing. All they've done here is make the tapes a wee bit wider, and also added a dual lock core. So they did a lot of bench testing to see where most of the fluid pools. And they just sort of basically reinforced it. So that dual lock core, so it'll pull the urine away quicker and evenly. And again, it's all about getting, so when we get the right absorbency and all the urine's pulled away and we've the exact fit according to their body size, there is not a chance that this product should be leaking. And again, with the TENA slip, what we often find is it's more like a two-man job. You'd need two people to assist with the fitting of this just to get it exact. And we'll maybe compare this one as we go on to the TENA Flex as well. So believe it or not, over the years, I have went into people where they've had duct tape and sellotape holding products up because they're either too small or too big. And it's probably still the biggest thing that I would see as we go out and try and help the district nurses or hospital nurses. We just need the right size of product, which is measured, and then the right absorbency and the right product. TENA slip active fit even. We pulled this in a few years ago, and as our products changed about 4 or 5 years ago, we kept a variant which had that plasticky back. All of our products are 100% breathable. They're all latex free, and that's all certified from our global team. But we kept a variant of the plasticky feel back. And what we found is there were some service users that were more active, and they were up running around, bum shuffling, whatever, just a bit more wiggly in bed. So we called this one the active fit for your more active user. So it's available in the plus and maxi absorbencies in the small, medium and large. So this is just, as I say, it's the more plasticky backed, and for some people this actually just suits them a wee bit better. So one child I went out to was on the trampoline with a ball on it. So she was bouncing on this ball on a trampoline. So this was the product that I suggested, because all the other products would have been just thrown to shreds in the middle. So this one with a plastic back just means it can take a wee bit of extra stress. So that's available as well. Again, the The fitting is just all about getting the correct size, and that's quite easy. We've talked about that one. The interesting part about a lot of these products, there we're looking at TENA Slip Plus, Super, Maxi, Ultima. And as you can see, the absorbency goes up. So we still have small, medium and large in the Plus, in the Super and in the Maxi. And some of our units, and this would be more maybe our learning disability side, or a heavy, someone with a nocturia, we may go to an Ultima, because again it takes us closer to the 2 litres for maybe overnight or whatever part of the daytime there's the highest urinary output. We also have bariatric as well, so 2XL and 3XL. That's taking us up to about 240 centimetres. We've kept it to a super absorbency, which is the green colour, so that's still 1250 mils. So we do have the bariatric sizes available there in the TENA Slip. The flex is something that we do use a lot within our hospitals. We find with the belted design, it's easier for a one-person approach. I often find the TENA Slip's more 2-man, whereas the TENA Flex, the belt goes round the body, it sticks on with like a Velcro type hook, and then brings up through the legs, and those wee Velcros type products stick onto the belt. So quite often this is workable actually with one person. And we've small, medium, large and extra large in the Plus, Super and Maxi. And you can see when you go to the Maxi extra large, this is a 2 litre product. So there's a very high absorbency. So once you go into any all-in-one product, whether that be the Flex or whether that be the Comfort or the Slip, they all go up to the Maxi absorbencies, which is somewhere around 1500 and above. So this is a really, really high absorbency. So these would be for your types of patients that can't use the toilet, they're bed bound, they're chair bound. So and again, the absorbency always refers to the urinary absorbency. If the product is soiled, it's changed immediately. We do have the TENA pants range. Every year there seems to be another type of absorbency added, but we've got 3. In fact, we've got 4 absorbencies. I didn't add the lower one to it, and we keep it more for retail, but we've normal, Plus, Super and Maxi. So you can see the pull-up complete pant, as I say, from 400 mils to just over a litre. And again, where we're finding usage for the Maxi type of pull-up pants is within our other dementia units, or sometimes within the autism spectrum type children, where they won't change their products that often or they don't want to. So sometimes the pull-up pants in a high absorbency can be really useful here. So for the user that doesn't want someone to bother them or whatever, there is a higher absorbency within the pull-up pants. So these are a complete pant, and it encourages toileting, and especially with our elderly, maybe dementia, early dementia type patients, it allows them to keep like pants up, pants down, while we're encouraging them, to get in and out to the toilet. So again, I want to keep repeating, we've different sizes and we've different absorbencies and many different products. So so we've got a lot there. This is why we do it. I've shown this slide every single time that we've been here, because good continence care equals, without a doubt, good skin care. As I say, we've been endorsed by the Skin Health Alliance. We were the first continence company to get this independent endorsement from dermatologists and skin care experts. And so these are the reasons why we are so particular about the correct product, the correct absorbency, because we do not want to damage already vulnerable and potentially fragile skin. The super absorbent powder. This is what sits within the products. So the super absorbent powder, each wee grain holds 25 times its weight, so it pulls away 25-fold. The pulp, which sits just below that in the picture, it's part of the tree bark, so it's like the cotton wool type of effect, which holds it all together. But it also pulls away 10-fold as well. So between the matrix of the product, where you've got all the waterproof back sheet and the feel dry layer, this is what's working in the middle to pull the urine away from the skin. And the super absorbent powder, actually have a few skin can see that. I have a huge big bag of it here. The super absorbent powder, its only job is to pull the urine away. It does it very, very quickly, and you can see it's already pulling up from the bottom, and it's nearly actually pulled away there. So the super absorbent powder is what completely locks the urine away from the skin, and that's actually what you're paying for, because we use a very high grade super absorbent powder. You can see within about 10-15 seconds that has went completely solid. So the super absorbent powder is so important, and ours is evenly distributed throughout. So that is so important. One of the biggest things I have found over the years is the wetness indicator lines. I cannot stress this enough. This is probably especially for hospitals, nursing homes, it doesn't matter where, but all of our products have a yellow line. Yellow means the product can absorb urine. So when you come into the ward or your nursing home or wherever, or the night shift, and there's still a lot of yellow on the product and it's not soiled, you can keep this product on knowing that there's no wet back. Now, I wet this one earlier, just so you could see that blue, it changes from yellow to like a bluey green colour. And it's hard for me to know if you can see that, but the line will change to that bluey green colour. So, and it's also in that wee diagram as well there. So we would recommend that if the product is not soiled, you could leave it till the wetness line is 3/4 blue, and then change the product. So the wetness indicator lines are huge. I spend all the phone calls I take every day, it's always about the wetness indicator lines. Have you checked the lines? So if the bed's wet, the patient's wet, but there's still loads of yellow on the line, the product's probably too big. I see this 4 or 5 times a day. So leakage is probably what gets me going out to see clients, maybe not at the moment, but it has been. And usually by the time I get out, they've a large product on a small frame of a patient. So I cannot stress the urgent need to size these products for your client. So we need the right size. We need to check the wetness lines. Many a time I've went into the bin, we've checked the wetness lines where we found loads of yellow. So that tells me the absorbency is correct. But then we'll go and check the physical size. Sometimes that can be right. And if it's not that, we'll then change the product. So to fit our patient's, unique body shape. So we still have the overuse of oil-based thick creams as well. And 10 years later, I'm still talking about this. So your Cavalon type preparations are great for the skin and they won't interfere with the products, but your more thicker oil-based creams, if there's a good thick layer put on, that will transfer onto the top of the product, and then very quickly the urine can't pull through. So be mindful, if they are prescribed it, that it's just well applied and well rubbed in, and not to be putting the cream onto the product first. I've seen that quite a lot, where the people get the cream, rub it onto the pad and stick it onto the patient. So that is not the correct way to do it. We don't want anything between the skin and the top advanced field dry layer of the product. We also don't want to be shaking and fluffing up the products either. We open it out of the packet, sort of fold it in the middle to give it a shape, and that activates a lot of the wee anti-leak gathers and all-round barriers. So that should be enough. Don't be giving it a good shake and whacking it off the end of the bed or whatever. Just be gentle with the product. We also don't want double padding either, i.e. one pad inside another. This has been brought up with our NMC hearings within the UK. It's not good practice. It's a medical device. We should only be using one medical device per patient. And I've written there modifying products. I've went out and, as I said, I've seen tea towels, you name it, serviettes, duct tape, gorilla tape, wrapping around products, and people are cutting bits off and adding bits in. We shouldn't need to. We, without a doubt, have enough products in all the different sizes, many different products. So we will find a product that will definitely, without a doubt, suit your physical shape. And again, I'm coming back again. I want the correct size, the right product and the right absorbency. We work with them day to day, so we're happy to share this with you and talk about this further. And if you want to put it into the wee side questions, we can send you out the proper got it in ones, the full spec on all the products, so that you have all the exact sizing and the exact absorbency. If you're a hospital ward, we'd fine tune it down to about 6 to 7 products because you don't have the space, to be honest. Whereas in the community, it's totally different. It'll be completely individually sized as per product and product size and absorbency for our individual needs of the patient. As we've said before, we have our TENA net. If you want to get onto that, it's a free platform for literature. It sends out the odd few samples. It's only up to 3 at the very most. It has all of our most up-to-date product information. It also has a wee question, a wee chat bar. So if you want a protocol for your ward, there may be somebody within UK and Ireland that can help you. And all of our literature is also available to download as well. We're trying to, like every company, get greener and use less paper-based products. So a lot of this we can email to you. And the online academies, I think they're really valuable. There's 7 of them, done them myself. And some of these would be really good to do in your own time or as part of your protected learning time. We also have the Facebook community out there. So people are starting to get a bit more interactive with the Facebook community. We'll have all of our fitting videos as well on YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube. So this is a really good resource. And again, if you're interested in this, say to Maeve, and we can send you all the links, all the wee bits and pieces to all of these. I think it's definitely worthwhile doing because good continence care equals overall really good care. We talked in the first series was about our men, looking after the men, and then the treatment options, getting the patient to the right skilled professional can take up to 5 years. We don't want it to take 5 years. We want the patient treated as quickly and as efficiently as we can, and only to use our products where there is no other option or whereby we're helping them rehabilitate. So we want our good use of products because that creates a nice green stamp as well. It keeps everything right. At the end there, there's a lot to talk about. Thank you for listening. I do welcome any questions or anything you would like to ask. I'll go back to you, Maeve.
Great. Janice, thank you as always. A fantastic presentation there on practical tips and product assessment. As always, I always pick up some new tips myself, so thank you for that. And I think you've really stressed the importance of assessment, patient assessment, to find, as you say, the correct product with the correct size and the correct absorbency. And sometimes, you know, in our busy days, whatever, these things just, you know, are not in the forefront of our mind when it comes to using continence care. So that's really, really good, Janice. Thank you very much for that. I am conscious of time, and just to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in and so far. Ian, I will hand over to you just to see if there's any Q&A that you'd like to share with us. Maybe if we might have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maeve, and thank you to my colleague Janice for such an efficient presentation. So thank you. We've had a question through from a customer who's based in St James's Hospital nursing team, and they've asked the question: do you have an incontinence associated dermatitis assessment and management pathway? So I'm just going to open that up to the floor if you could maybe help with that question.
I think I worked on something like this with previous colleague that worked there. We'll get back to you. Actually, we do have information on the effectiveness of our wash cream, and we do have, I was looking the other week, we do have a pathway. We do have a pathway that I think has been worked with yourselves over the past few years. We'll get back to you on that one. I think it probably needs updating, actually, but we do have something that we can help you with. Yeah.
I'll liaise with you on that, Janice, and we'll come back. Definitely. Thanks very much for that question. Ian, I'll go back to you.
Yeah, thank you. No, that was a really good question, so thanks for your input. I've just had another one through, which is quite an interesting one, which asks what specific products are best for nighttime wear, Janice. So I'm not sure if there's if that's maybe something you could help us with.
It's probably the most commonly asked question. As I said, there's no particular night or day product. So if your patient is in their own home and somebody isn't coming back for 8 to 10 hours, we would be probably looking at the super or the maxi absorbencies. And again, it depends how much they're drinking or if they're on enteral feeding or anything like that overnight. So again, are they in any diuretics maybe into the latter part of the afternoon? So we'd be looking at any diuretics, any type of feeding, and their urinary output pattern. But generally, I suppose we could suggest it could be a super or a maxi type for the nighttime. But again, it's everybody's individual, but they would be probably better to hold you over the night.
Fantastic. Thank you, Janice.
Great. Thank you very much, Ian, for that, and thanks again for the questions that just come through. Obviously, this is just the beginning of the conversation, and it's just our way of currently connecting with you guys out there. But please don't hesitate at any time. I'm at the end of the phone, as is Janice and as is Ian, and we'd be more than happy to support you whichever way is required. As Janice said, we hold the full range here at Bunzl Cleaning and Safety Supplies, everything from your 50 ml absorbency up to your 2 litres. So it's an extensive range, and I would only be delighted to come on board with you and to offer some extra education sessions. We actually do, SED have a clinical consultant who would be very happy also to give you more kind of an extensive session with regarding education. We can maybe organise a half day or a full day if that would be something you're interested in the future. But I would like to say at this point, thank you very much for your time and your attention today, really appreciated. So until the next time, I'd like to say thank you from all of us, and we hope to see you again soon. We will be back in touch in the next few weeks with details of our next webinar. So keep your eyes peeled and we'll hopefully see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.